Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, tech, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Good morning, everybody out there in Radio Boomers Live, EZWAY land, and boy, Reatha, I'll tell you what, I can't say good morning, Reatha, on this bright, sunshiny day in Southern California when everything's all peaches and cream. Huh? I mean, it's a little bit gloomy in more ways than one, right?
Well, good morning anyway. It's going to be a good morning if you make it one, but we've got rain, we've got viruses, got all kinds of stuff going on. We're missing toilet paper. What can I tell you? But we're coming to you live, Radio Boomers Live. We're broadcast on the EZWAY Radio, powered by Blog Talk Radio. And we're here.
Reatha, I'm kind of chuckling and trying to be positive about this, but we know a lot of people are going through tough times and the health issues and, the finances and everything. But, like we say, we try to keep upbeat about everything. And it is a different world, Reatha. We've never been through this before. And sometimes people say, I remember back when I was, 40 years ago, but this has never really happened. When you see...
Not in our lifetime.
No. Not only cities shutting down for some reason, but states, the country, and the world basically is coming to a halt. And, I wonder sometimes, you and I were talking about this through the week, it's a ripple effect. I mean, you have your individuals that have a hard time paying mortgages or rent. That affects the landlords because then the landlords can't collect and pay their utilities and bills. That affects the city. It just goes on and on. This is typical ripple effect,
Well, I get an alert from Kenya because I've traveled to Kenya a couple of times, and so I still get the alerts. And Kenya is shut down. They've had many fewer deaths than we have. They do take the chloroquine, I never can remember the name of the drug, for the malaria, but they have still shut down international flights in and out of Kenya. And it really is a ripple effect all around the world. And in Kenya, in the villages, they live in close quarters, but they don't have emergency rooms. They don't have ventilators at all. So this really is a huge worldwide event.
It's a spreader for sure.
But that brings us up to our hot topics.
It's hot topic time, guys.
Ripped from the headlines, today's hot topic.
Well, how have you been spending your time during the shut-in? Well, there's all kinds of things that you can do. First of all, we already talked about we can clean out those closets and drawers in that corner and this, that, and the other. Now, for most people, after a week or two, you've done that. Well, with me, it'll take me more than this shutdown to get all of mine done. But that's one thing you can do. But you can learn a new hobby. You can go on Google. You can Google anything and learn how to do it. Maybe when you're out at the market, because we're not supposed to go anywhere but the market, you might pick up some yarn or learn how to crochet, pick up some stuff to learn how to crochet. There's all kinds of hobbies that you can do. You can journal, pick up yourself a journal, or even just use some paper you have around the house. Write that great American novel that you've been saying that you were going to write, or that hit Broadway play you said you were going to write. There's all things you can do. And what I heard, which will make the days pass quicker, is if you actually have a schedule. Wake up at 7 a.m., exercise from 7:30 to 8:30, make breakfast, read for an hour. There's all kinds of things you can put on that schedule, and it will actually supposedly allegedly, make your day go faster. We are going to be shut in for a little while, so you might as well get some things done. We can just mope and complain if we want to, but that genuinely does not make the day go faster. My days have been going pretty fast. I've got lots of stuff to do, and when all else fails, you can binge watch all those shows that you've been saying you were wanting to watch but didn't have time. So don't be doom and gloom and, oh, my. And even today in L.A. it's raining, so I'm kind of grateful I'm shut in. So find stuff to do, pick up new hobbies, and take some time to rest and enjoy your family. If you're home with your family, use this time to get to know them a little bit better. Jim, what's your hot topic?
Good tips, Reatha, and that's true. I mean, we're a captive audience. We're home, and what better time to spend with your family? I remember when we had power outages, that's when people got together. You light a candle, and you get to spend a little time together. No TV or anything. Well, let's start out with something upbeat. Well, just kind of jesting. How about the Surgeon General compared the coronavirus pandemic to some of the darkest moments in U.S. history? And like Reatha said, well, we have to remain positive through all this. We've been through tough times before, nothing like this, but we do have to remain positive. 331,000 cases have been confirmed in the U.S. with death toll nearing 10,000. Globally, there's more than 1,260,000 confirmed cases with 68,400 deaths and 258,000 recovered. They do say the rate for recovery is it's much higher than the fatalities in the over 90% range. Health official warns hotspots will see a spike in the CV deaths over the next, I don't know what the deal is, but everybody over the next 6 or 7, over the next week is supposed to be this, this big surge. There seems to be a situation about the virus as far as, they're trying to figure out where it's from, the origins, and that we're going to get into that later, and why it's affecting the elderly or certain people, not just the elderly, but why it affects some people much more than others. A tiger's been tested. It affects animals. A tiger's been tested positive at the Bronx Zoo, first known case ever. So the tiger will probably have to wear a mask, I guess. The Governor Newsom's California health situation, they put a situation together with Governor Newsom to for the coronavirus with funds and everything, and it's supposed to be unprecedented. So we'll see how he takes that. The coronavirus stay-at-home order is in effect in California, has police giving citations to people watching the sunset at beaches. New York has been overwhelmed with victims, and they use freezer trucks lined up for the deceased, and they brought in 45 extra. They were filled, so they had to, and that was because the funeral homes were filled up, and now they're going to public lands to bury the bodies. Check for what's called Safari Bugs. Allows hackers to take on your mic and camera and get into your phone. So keep an eye out for that. Many keeping upbeat, though, guys, like we were talking about, many are keeping upbeat. And they, I read a little bit about what you do at home for this, and basically they're saying you take Tylenol and you treat it like a flu, and eat, drink, try to be healthy, and most people get over it. So, Reatha, I'm going to stop there because we have to move on. Time's going so fast here. It's time for a commercial, I believe, and then we're going to have our guest.
A word from our sponsors.
There we go.
Looking to grow and align your brand with celebrities and other established brands? Your brand is all about your entire customer experience. Everything from your logo, your website, your social media experiences, the way you answer the phone, to the way your customers experience your staff. So why not let us help you get your branding right from the start? At EZWAY Promotions, we are a new class of professionals providing first-class online branding, promotion, social media, website development, editing, graphic design, public relations, media, SEO, and online advertising to give your business the competitive edge to stand out. Our highly experienced experts will not only help you increase your online presence, but also provide you with a proven online strategy to help you increase the value of your company and make acquiring new customers easier. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today and let us help you grow your business exponentially.
For more information, contact 424-209-9290 or visit EZWayPromotions.com. That's letter E, letter Z. We also encourage you to like our Facebook page at EZWay Promotions.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we have our own David Eugene Andrews coming on here today. He's our special guest. And David's a pretty interesting guy. He's not only our CFO, but he's a Columbia graduate. He's did the analytics at Chase Bank. He reads and writes Mandarin. And we believe there could be a chance that he was the first person to do a selfie. And he actually, and this is kind of historic, got a picture of Hirohito, Emperor's Japan, and the Emperor of Japan, when he was coming out of his, not that he was standing with him or anything, but when he was coming out of his kingdom there. And he's the author of Empires and Kingdoms, so we want to cover, he's basically the author that brings books to life. So, David, you on with us? Do we got Dave?
Unmute.
Dave, you on with us? Hello. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Dave,
okay.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
show.
hi, David.
You're on with Reatha. I believe you know Reatha. And yep. So
yes, I do.
Hi, David.
Hi, Reatha.
So Dave, we got a sunny, happy day in Southern California. We're going through a lot of stuff. We know you do a lot of research, and I want to ask maybe a later portion of the show, if you'd like to jump back on, we're going to debate a little bit about some of the origins and where this stuff came from. We won't go over it too much now, but I want to talk about your book. But if you want, you can jump on with us during my jump time. But for now, I want to touch base with you. A lot of people are interested in telling their story and writing a book, or you know, not only their own story in a biography, they might want to tell a story, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. What do you think some of the basics are to get before you get started? Some of the hurdles you deal with, because you have your Empires and Kingdoms.
Yeah, I have my Empires and Kingdoms. So let me start by reading a small quote from chapter 41 of Empires and Kingdoms, the first book. The poor throng into the city, that's Paris, in such numbers that it is impossible to move about the streets either on foot or on horseback. A census was taken, and they were found to amount to 100,000 some days ago. Now there are many more. They have brought the plague, the last calamity. That's from the Venetian ambassador to France, Paris, May, in the year 1596.
Wow. See? They had this stuff back then.
Were you there, David? You wrote about it as if you were physically there.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's part of it. You get into the book, you get into the scene like you were there. So, I mean, this was, obviously I didn't know that COVID-19 would come out 2 years after this book was published, but that's if you want to read something, you know, get your mind off of how things were or are, and go back to how they were and how people recovered from that. So.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to read that particular. We want to be positive, but that's true.
Yeah, well, you want to be positive, certainly, but you know, obviously they survived. So you know, and we'll get through this season here too, or at least most of us will.
Just like what you're saying there, Reatha was probably doing this too. As you were reading that, I was like picturing this. You have a skill for bringing books to life, and I believe we want to take Empires and Kingdoms and and bring that to life on screen someday. We'll talk about that. But is there a certain knack there is with verbiage that brings this out to where instead of just writing your story, you have certain little niches that you can use to kind of make it come real, make it seem real?
Yeah. First of all, probably the hardest part is to identify a story that's worth telling. Sometimes if you're just talking to each other across the kitchen table, that's not really newsworthy or story-worthy. But if you've done things, if you've been to places, if you've encountered people, and there's something you learn from that experience, then yes, that's how you would relate to it. And if you can do that, then I think people might be interested in listening to what you have to say.
Yeah, and you no, okay, you could have wrote about so much. You were a Columbia graduate. You were in Japan. You actually saw Hirohito. You had an interesting life. You speak Mandarin. What is it that zeroed you in to Captain Smith and that era, for the Empires and Kingdoms series?
Part of it, there's two reasons. One, I did some genealogy, and I had traced my family back to Jamestown right after John Smith was there, and I had to look at what Captain John Smith did about 15 years before my mom's side of the family was from Virginia, and so I looked at him, and then the only reason Jamestown survived was because of his personal audacity, if you will, in securing supplies when everybody was starving because there's no food in the whole colony. And so he goes out and meets Pocahontas and meets other ones, trades, barters, and, gets venison, deer meat, and back into there. So, okay, this guy's important, but he didn't leave any progeny. He didn't leave any offspring in Virginia. So I went back and looked at his life beforehand, and that's where I found this story about him becoming a slave in the Ottoman Empire in Istanbul in 1602. And then I realized at that time that I had a unique skill set that understood world affairs, global affairs. I've studied the Middle East since the early 70s, so almost 50 years now. I co-chaired a symposium at Lewis and Clark College on the Middle East and the oil crisis. So I know the Middle East. I knew Turkey, had been to Turkey. I knew Eastern Europe. I had studied war, so John Smith was a fighter, so I understood that part of it. So, then my language abilities, I knew German, and I'm comfortable with a half dozen languages, at least in the reading realm of it. And so it's like, okay, I'm qualified. This is a story that hasn't been told. It's a really good story. No one knows about it. That Captain John Smith, before Pocahontas, was sold into slavery and given to a beautiful Aisha, sister of the Ottoman Sultan, so she could sell him back to his family. So it was just an intriguing story, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll try my hand at it. And I just started writing. I spent 3 weeks every day and wrote 70 pages, and that's where the crux of this book started, the genesis of it.
So if
now this is the first book in this series, right?
Right. I have actually 7 books written. Only one's published. The second one I will get out this year. There's nothing holding me back from getting the second book out this year. So
you have time now at home. So this is a 4-part series. No,
it's a 7-book series. I keep on expanding.
Okay.
I write. I have a website I'll bring up at some point and a Facebook page called Authors Cube, which is the antidote to writer's block. That's
okay.
So,
all right.
Because
No,
I don't have
so
a problem with that. I know a lot of people do, and if I can give some tips on how to overcome your writer's block, I'm happy to give those away.
So if some listeners out there think I want to write a book someday, and whether it's fictional or whatever, what are the first couple bullet points, the first steps they should take before they get started, so they don't make too many mistakes?
Okay. Well, writers write. So if you want to write, you write. You just write anything. You journal, or some people go from an outline to a journal, and then write. Some people just start writing whatever's there. So you write your stories. You write on what you did today. I mean, you're cooped up, so maybe you write about the last time you were cooped up, when you were a teenager. So a lot of write what you know. That's part
something
of it.
You're
and I've
interested
been
in and familiar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You can either research it, or you write from your experiences, or people like to be positive, how you overcame your last obstacle or whatever. What happened to you when you were fired from a job? What did you do? Like let's say on this one, when this thing broke, the first thing I did was buy a microphone, because I think I'm going to do a podcast. So I ordered a microphone on Amazon, and then some real good headphones. So either I do a podcast. If I don't do a podcast, I'll do an audiobook on this. And so I can use it. So that's the first thing I did when this thing broke 3 weeks ago.
Huh. Yeah. And so what, do you think it's Captain Smith, this is reality. This really happened. What would you think of if you're going to advise somebody? Is it better to go with fiction or nonfiction, or just what they're interested in? If they're going to write a book.
Well, you write what you know. My background was actually in nonfiction. I published economic forecast articles, international economic forecast, Taiwan, Africa. I was the editor of a international Chase econometrics. I built a 3,000 variable econometric model of the world, and one of the very first ones. So I really knew nonfiction writing, business writing. That was what I was trained in or became very good at. And I edited 20, 30 economists, their reports, weekly reports going out to our Fortune 500 clients, Fortune 1000 clients. So I had to learn how to write fiction when I started this. I found the story, but I didn't know how to write fiction. So I read, and this is quite honest, I read more than 50 or 60 books on different parts of writing fiction before and I didn't know the skill. I didn't know how to write fiction, but I did it. And then I had to write Aisha, the sister of the Sultans. I had to write chapters in her point of view. So the hardest part for me wasn't the wars with 10,000 on each side and, regiments and all that type of stuff, fighting on this side of the battle, on that side of the battle. Get her point of view. How do I write from a female point of view? It took me over a year to get that, and I'm sure I didn't get it right, but
well, yeah,
it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. I learned that from a female point of view.
Yeah, yeah. Who was back there?
What is
not too many witnesses.
What does Captain John Smith think of her? Things like that.
It is interesting, and they were like us, just doing their thing, and they just didn't have cell phones. It's the only difference. And here we are today. But we want to thank you, Dave, for popping on. And if you have time, you can come in on my gem time, and we're going to discuss a little bit about, I know you've done a little research on the origins of this bug that's going around. So I'll leave that open for you. And there's a lot of rumors.
I've done a lot on that, so I'm ready on that one.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, glad to have you back, and thanks for coming on because this is interesting stuff. And you are the person that brings books back to life, or brings them to life. It's amazing when I read some of your stuff here. All right, so thank you for coming on, Dave. We've got to move along. The clock is ticking. We have a commercial, and we have Carmelita coming up. So with that, Reatha, I guess it's time to what? We got a commercial here.
It's time for another word.
Boomers Forever Young is really making a name for themselves as an exciting nutritional company with products that really work. People from all over the country are starting to take notice. Their whole person approach to health and wellness, combined with their unique array of powerful natural health products, are setting them apart from all the other companies in the nutrition industry. Their customers love the one-on-one free consultations and the results they experience. Sound a little too good to be true? Then go online to boomerboost.com today and sign up for a free consultation with a product specialist, or just give us a call at 1-800-861-4609. Again, that's boomerboost.com, or call 1-800-861-4609 to join the thousands already experiencing the benefits of Boomers Forever Young products.
Are you tired of doing business the hard way? Is building your business taking too much time and energy? We can help. Introducing your ultimate solution, EZWAY Business Membership. We're a full-service digital marketing solution specializing in branding and marketing, advertising, and introductions to CEOs and influencers that can help your business thrive. Problem solved. Now you can hire our award-winning team to work for your business. We've received many prestigious awards, including the Digital Trailblazer Award by Hollywood Weekly magazine, and we've been recognized by Congress. For just $11 a day, you'll get more exposure, reach more clients by next month, guaranteed. Here's how it works. You pay one low annual fee of $4,000, and you'll receive consulting, branding, marketing, advertising, social media support, product placement, and business introductions to help your business grow exponentially. And if you need more, we offer SEO, commercial, TV exposure, and much more for an additional rate. To recap, for just $11 a day annual membership fee, you'll receive branding, consulting, business-to-business introductions, advertising, and social media support. But don't take our word for it. Here's what our customers say.
We've been working with EZWAY, Eric, for the last 6 months, and literally we are slammed with work for 2 months straight, so his marketing definitely works.
To learn more, visit EZWayNetwork.com or contact us at 877-399-2929. And don't forget to follow us on social media. On Facebook at EZWay Network, Twitter at EZWay Broadcast, and YouTube at EZWay TV.
You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the godfather of soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Good morning, everyone. Namaste.
Looking to grow and align your brand with celebrities and other established brands? Your brand is all about your entire customer experience. Everything from your logo, your website, your social media experiences, the way you answer the phone, to the way your customers experience your staff. So why not let us help you get your branding right from the start? At EZWAY Promotions, we are a new class of professionals providing first-class online branding, promotion, social media, website development, editing, graphic design, public relations, media, SEO, and online advertising to give your business the competitive edge to stand out. Our highly experienced experts will not only help you increase your online presence, but also provide you with a proven online strategy to help you increase the value of your company and make acquiring new customers easier. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today and let us help you grow your business exponentially.
For more information, contact 424-209-9290 or visit EZWayPromotions.com. That's letter E, letter Z. We also encourage you to like our Facebook page at EZWay Promotions.
Hi, I'm Charles D. Watkins of HavanaWatches.com. HavanaWatches.com provides the highest quality for a great price. HavanaWatches.com offers a range of models, including chronographs, mechanical, silicone plastic, and in tungsten steel. HavanaWatches.com provides stylish features. Our top-to-bottom 1-year warranty is one of the best in the industry. All of our models come to you in our custom-designed wooden gift boxes. We have both Swiss and internationally designed models. HavanaWatches.com has been creating high-quality watches since 2004. Our executive staff has over 18 years of watch experience. I myself was the past president of Whitnall Watches International. We are American-owned and operated. Our goal is to provide you with a watch you are proud to wear. We want to be your preferred watch brand in the United States. See our styles at HavanaWatches.com. Fine watches exclusively for you.
Well, we're having a slight difficulty here with Carmelita. I know she's out there, and I know she has a wonderful guest, so hopefully that will get resolved quickly. But in the meantime,
well,
Jim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, and sometimes, we got a big storm brewing out there because it seems raining sideways here. It's really coming down, and
it's cleared up here in LA. It's not sunshiny, but it's supposed to rain for several more days, and we're having weather all over the country. The tornadoes in the south, and we're having rain, and
I don't know.
I understand it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Reatha, I don't know. When you're driving along and you put a cup of coffee up on the dashboard and it slips, you're not going to put it back up there. Well, you wouldn't put it up there in the first place. But in other words, when something happens, how many times I've known people down in Florida that were living on the beach, and they have these hurricanes. Okay, so you rebuild after your house is messed up, but how many times do you do that? And like in this tornado areas, I don't know if I would think about moving to a different area when these tornadoes hit the same area.
We had a tornado that leveled the city. It was a small town, but it leveled it. I don't imagine that they're going to be building that back up again in the near future. I don't like living anywhere where they have seasons. And when I say seasons, I mean hurricane season, tornado season, hail season, winter, summer, anything extreme. I'm a California girl, but we do have our rain, and we need the rain. We need the rain here in California.
And it's funny, they say, well, when it rains, that means fires. And you're thinking, like, what the heck? Well, the rain makes all this brush grow out in the hills and everything, and then it dries out later on. And so it's a circle. But, with this, the era what Eric's putting together now, it's really coming in handy for a lot of people because he's getting a lot of communication with people. And as far as doing things at home, doing events at home, the Zoom, all kinds of projects that can be done without going out and without everybody, like, what are we going to do now? We can't have our event. Well, he put together a scenario where they continued on and did this event that was supposed to be in L.A. and at a convention center, and so everybody went on the Zoom or whatever it is. And they continued the event at home. It's funny how we adjust, And
this world is never going to be same after this pandemic because we can barely hear you, Carmelita.
We got Carmelita. Okay.
Right.
Hello, Carmelita.
The weather is messing with us. My phone that I normally call from gave out, so I'm using my husband's phone.
Oh boy, I don't know.
We can barely hear you.
Barely hear you, Carmelita. Yeah, we can't really hear you.
Is PEGGI Blue on the line? Hello?
No, I guess not.
I don't think he's on the line, and we can barely hear you.
Is she?
Oh, okay.
We don't think she's on the line.
My name is Peggy Blue, and I'm here. I hear you.
Oh, there she is. Hello, Miss Bloom.
Your guest is here.
Welcome to the show. And we had a little technical with the rains and everything going on. And we Carmelita, you on with us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay,
Can
you're
you
going
hear
to have
me?
to speak up really loud, Carmelita, for your audience to be able to hear you. So we're going to leave you and your guest, but speak up really loud, Carmelita.
Okay, first of all, I want to welcome Peggy Blue for joining us today. She's a very busy
Good
lady.
morning, everyone.
We want to thank you for coming on. I just want to tell everybody a little bit about her. She popped out of her mom's womb singing. I mean, she made a very special entrance into the world, which was very prophetic of her mighty presence, which lit up the gospel world from the time she was 3 years old. Imagine that. Special family. She sang in her mother's choir at Mount Sinai Church in North Carolina. And her lineage includes talented singers, musicians, pastors, missionaries. By the age of 12, she was singing throughout North Carolina and Virginia. By age 14, her family permitted her to join her uncle Bishop Walter's gospel group in New York. Her talents have continued to develop and blossom, and she is a Broadway star. She's a Tony Award winner. She's had many leading roles as a leading lady on Broadway. And people like Michael Jackson have even produced her. She's won $100,000 as a Best Female Vocalist in Star Search in 1986, and she was on MCA Records, Capitol Records, and more. She's worked with people like Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, Denzel Washington, Jean-Claude Van Damme. She's arranged and worked with the likes of some of our greatest in the business. She's arranged for David Foster, Leonard Cohen. She's sung, written, and co-produced recordings on film and stage with stars such as Bob Dylan, Barbra Streisand, Burt Bacharach, Edwin Hawkins, staple singers Quincy Jones, Filipino and Mexican stars Luther Vandross, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Melissa Manchester, and Stephanie Mills. And she's also performed at the MGM with Barbra Streisand. And the list goes on. We see her all day long. I mean, this lady has so many credits. And I hope you heard them all. And I'm going to give her a chance to say something now. And she'll fill in where I left off. Peggy Blue, again, welcome to Carmelita's Corner. We're going to, before you get too far into your conversation, we want to let the audience hear your latest release, Man Enough, which is on Desert Island Records, produced by Pete Peterson. And I'd like to let them hear that a cut. I understand we're not going to be able to play the entire thing, but we are going to hear some of it. So can we hear that? And then we'll give Peggy a chance to talk about it.
I want to ask you a question. Are you man enough for me? You know you want it. You know you want it. You gotta come and get it, boy. I said you know you want it. You gotta come and get it, boy. You better be my kind of man. It's someone who can make me feel the way that I like it. A whole lot of beer for you to be my kind of man.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hi. Okay. That didn't last long.
Can you hear me, honey?
Yes, I can now.
Okay.
Well, the phone, our main line, decided to take a vacation on me, so thank God my husband has a little backup here, let me use his phone. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little bit better now.
We're starting to sound like a commercial.
It's cutting in and out, darling.
I'm sorry, what?
It's cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. Well, we heard a little bit of your Man Enough. I really like it. It's got a great beat. And can you tell us the message or what led you to that song?
Oh, the song was written by a dear friend of mine, Phil Cody, who is he's a songwriter, and Phil Cody is like my brother. And he wrote all the Neil Sedaka hits and for many other people, but he also wrote with me. And I've got 2 #1 records that we wrote together because I also am a writer. And when I got asked to do this with Pete, when I got asked by him to, let him produce me, that was a surprise because I didn't even know him. He knew me from working with other artists and mainly Leon Hayward back in his place. But I just sent out messages to people who I knew and asked them. I even have stuff from Valerie Simpson, who's a friend of mine as well. And they just started sending me songs that they knew would be good for me. And so this is the one that Pete chose.
Well, that was a great selection.
Well, great. I'm glad you like it.
Mm-hmm. I'm expecting it to go places.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm. It's nice to be able to talk to you this morning, and it's. I think the rain has let up just a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking out my window and it stopped, and that's a good thing because it was when I was on the phone listening to the other interviewer, I could barely hear because the rain and the cars and everything was so heavy.
Right.
We're
going to be getting some more rain too this week, I understand.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's needed. I wonder if it'll wash away that stupid virus.
Wouldn't that be nice? Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be that would be a serious blessing.
Wash it all away. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be a wonderful blessing for us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
what else would you like to know, baby?
Well, I understand you're working on another project as well. Can you tell us about that?
Not really. That is it's it's confidential. I'm I have a book. I can tell you this much. I've been asked. There's a friend of mine who is a writer, a book writer, and she's on her 2nd book now. And she asked me if I would write a passage, and so I said yes. And so I'm doing that. And I'm working on quite a few things because I'm also doing the arranging because I'm also an arranger and a vocal coach, and I'm doing the arrangements now for another one of my students. He's about to do his 2nd album. He's a blues singer, so I'm doing the arrangements for that because he's about to, he wants to go in the studio if there will be a chance soon. And I'm doing that, and I'm writing she wanted me to do a chapter in her next book. And so I thought that was an honor to have been asked to do that.
Well, yes, you mostly deserved.
for sure that you were chosen. I want to mention to our listening audience, too, I didn't mention that you were a vocal coach for American Idol. And that is
I was.
Major. Yeah, that is major. Can you tell us how you came to be the vocal coach for American Idol?
I got a phone call asking me if I would. That's all.
Wow, that was
I didn't
easy.
audition. I didn't have an audition for it. I don't know when the last time I did have to audition for anything, but I got a phone call that said we would like you to join and become one of the vocal coaches on American Idol, and that was I did it 2011 and 12, and in 2013 I was in Europe doing my own show and couldn't come back, and just been busy ever since. But that was a wonderful blessing for me too, because it's my nature to give and help somebody else. And I'm still in touch. Matter of fact, Phil Phillips was my student, and he was the winner. And and he's still in touch with me, and all of them are, as a matter of fact. They still talk to me. And still contact me and how are you doing? We miss you. I love you. And that was just a blessing. It was wonderful.
Did you ever meet Alison Idiata?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Did you ever meet Alison Idiata? She came in 4th place on American Idol. I don't remember which year it was, but she's like a daughter in a sense to me, because she has been around from the time I was involved with the True Grammy days, and I had her singing on the True Grammy parties. You probably remember Lonnie Houghton Sweeney, right?
I don't remember her. I don't know. I don't remember. What year was she on?
Oh, God. Maybe 4 years ago now.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I wasn't there then. I was on. My last year was 2012, and I don't, So no, I don't know her.
Well, she was on with Adam Lambert. Do you remember seeing him on American?
I know. Yes, I know Adam.
And the two of them have done several concerts together since they were on American Idol.
Oh, fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to have her as a guest eventually. I mean, I saw her, I surprised her, actually. We have a mutual friend. In fact, our producer knows her, too. Pepper J. Pepper J has a great ranch in Nevada. And Allison didn't know that I was going to be there, so I surprised her, and it was a great reunion because her mom, who's wonderful, and her dad, they were all there too. But, anyway, I imagine that American Idol must have been a very interesting experience.
Yes, it was. But all of my experiences have been interesting. I also did, do you remember the movie Set It Off?
The movie what?
Set It Off with Queen Latifah. But before that, do you remember? You don't remember Set It Off? Okay, well, that's the one with Jada Pinkett Smith and Queen Latifah. That's what that was about. Set It Off. That was a movie.
Oh,
that was a movie.
Oh, yeah.
No, not about American Idol. Not about American Idol. This was the movie Set It Off that I did. But do you remember the movie Fame with Irene Cara?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, everything, that's what people say to me, oh, you just started doing vocal coach. So, no, I vocal coached Irene Cara on my living room floor in Guttenberg, New Jersey. And I actually have a thank you letter from Michael Gore, because he was the producer, thanking me, and I also sang the background on it and arranged it all the way back then. So it's not, this is not something that's new for me. It's been a blessing for me for many, many years.
Well, Queen Latifah seems to be a great lady. She was the star of a series at our Our Godson was part of. Sean Baker, I don't know if you know him or know of him, but his main thing was being a co-star with Pamela Anderson on VIP series.
You are very muffled. I can hardly hear you, baby.
Oh, okay. I was saying that our godson, Sean Baker, he was also a guest on my radio show, was one of the actors on Queen Latifah's Living Single series.
Right. Yeah, I love that thing. That series.
He played the role of Russell. Do you remember that character?
No, because I wasn't. That's something that I wasn't. I watched it a few times, but not.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it, but I think she's awesome. And if that was his role and he did it, then bless him. And that's what you call talent. And this is what's that song say? This is how we do it.
Oh yeah. He's done a lot of things. I was saying before we got, the volume went down. He also was a co-star with Pamela Anderson on VIP series, and he also did Where I Live. Bill Cosby produced that particular series, but he lived with us for some time. That's how his mom was from New York, and he came out here from New York, and she picked my husband and I to be his godparents. So he lived with us for a while. And he's been a guest on the radio show. Yeah. But anyway, you were talking about this latest project, and it has something to do with the book, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yes. No, that's great.
I'm writing a chapter in for a book. The lady who asked me to do it is also a bishop. And this is her second book, and she's asked me to write a chapter in the book. So I'm just like floored by that and very honored.
Yes. Well, you've been anointed, and you came into a family, of the gospel world, as I mentioned earlier. My husband, Jerry Pittman, who I hope that you'll meet someday. In fact, you might have seen him at HB's party, because I remember seeing you at one of the parties that HB had at his house.
I don't remember. Okay.
It's been a little while now, but my husband and I didn't know after being married to him for 30 years that he is Martin Luther King's second cousin. Martin Luther King. Yeah, Daddy King had 7 brothers, and one of them is John Oliver, and John Oliver was my husband's mother's father, and that's where the connection comes from. I never knew it because he never told me, but his aunt, before she left the planet and made her transition, she explained it to me. Otherwise, I probably still wouldn't know.
That's awesome, though. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I had him as a guest on Martin Luther King's Day on the radio show here, and he's a wonderful man. So I'm sure since we're both friends with HB, that you'll be seeing him, because HB gives great parties, and I'm sure you'll be back up there again over there on Mulholland. So anyway. Yeah, I'm very, very honored that you've taken the time to come and be a guest on my show. I know the show doesn't last that long, and I wish that they could hear the entire song, Man Enough, that it's really got a great beat. I love that bass line.
Yeah, I love the groove.
Yeah, and now the background singer, were you singing with yourself, or did you have backup vocalists?
No, I don't know who that girl is. I did the first one that I did was all me, and it was full. I sang the whole, what it was supposed to be, what I would have done had I done it. But then they changed it, and that's what I don't know who this girl is singing at all. I don't know who she is. And but that's what they chose to do, and people do what they think they want to. So you can't do nothing about that except say thank you and keep it moving.
It all came together, and it really sounds good. So I wish you all the success with that, and you and Pete Peterson, give a shout out to Pete here, and the new record label. So I want to congratulate you both on that. And
thank you, darling. Thank you.
We're going to be showing visuals of some of the highlights of your musical productions. I was able to get a link from YouTube, and it shows some of your hits. Now, you have several hits. You've been with Capital Records and MCA and so on. And so we're gonna be talking, but the audience on Facebook will be able to see the visuals, so you'll get a better idea.
That'd be fine. My MCA record was done by Jerry. That was produced by Jerry Ragavoy, who also produced Janis Joplin and a whole bunch of other folks. And my bass player, the first bass player, was Will Lee from The Tonight Show. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just, I've been really, really blessed. And Harold Wheeler did the orchestra arrangements, the horns and strings for that album, for that entire album. Mm-hmm. Harold Wheeler did it. And I mean, it was just my life. I know that God has blessed me, and I'm grateful, and I've been nonstop since I was born. So I was supposed to do this, and I love giving and helping and supporting. And I thank you for having me on your show.
Well, I've been very impressed. I mean, I want to learn more about you. I'm going to be following you, lady.
Well, please do. And I wish you had some of my other music to play. I wish you did. But, at some other time. And this is a blessing, and thank you.
And may you want to come back again, and you'd be most welcome. And, again, thank you so much for taking the time.
All right, my darling. All right, God bless you.
Bye.
Smartphone, cell phone, PC, Mac, tablet, iPad. That's right. It's tech time.
From the words of the musical Hamilton, the world will never be the same again. After this whole coronavirus debacle, we will be doing things a different way. Just like after 9/11, the world totally changed, the screenings that we have to go through and all the different things that are changed. And I think the major number one change is going to be how we conduct meetings, especially those of us in L.A. who have been traveling hours on the freeway to get to and from these meetings. We're going to be able to meet whenever we want, however we want. If you haven't gotten the app Zoom, you need to get it. People are doing everything over Zoom. I'm sure there are going to be several different that are going to improve on it, but right now Zoom in and of itself is great. You can conduct meetings. I think you can have up to 300 people. You can have classrooms teaching where you just have a few students. My church uses it to have Bible study because you can see everyone and everyone can see you. Or if you don't have a smartphone or a computer or a tablet, you can just call in on the regular phone line and you can just hear whatever's going on at the meeting, hear whatever teaching it is. You can have business meetings. It's absolutely amazing. Now, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to learn how to do that. Well, you better get with it because I think after this, people are not going to want to drive an hour and a half to get to a meeting in traffic when they can just call from the comfort of their home. You can even drop in a picture in the background like they do on the news shows so that there's, your backdrop is a lovely beach or the mountains or snow or whatever. You don't even have to let people see where you are in your house. You can have a different background behind you. My aunt was telling me that she had her sorority meeting over Zoom. Since we can't meet in person, they had the whole sorority meeting on Zoom. You can call back and talk to individuals. You can have little caucuses where you say, okay, well, I want Millie and Susie and Jane and Karen to call me back on this Zoom number. You can have a Zoom account for absolutely free. You can get 40-minute meetings for 3 people or less, or you can have just one-on-one Zoom meetings, and you get as much time as you want. But for 3 people or more, you get 40-minute meetings for free. If you want to have the bigger meetings, they have different price points for you to join, but it's so much cheaper than the gas that you'd spend going to all these meetings. The pictures are crystal clear, and there's even ways that you can record the picture or record the sound, and people who miss the meeting live, they can catch up on it later. It's really going to change the way that we do meetings, and I have to say, I want to keep the lunch meetings and the dinner meetings, but as far as those meetings, if you just all kind of meet and spend a lot of gas to get there, I'm pretty much down with Zoom. So check it out, download it on your smartphone, and I'm sure if you haven't had a Zoom meeting yet, you will before this pandemic is over, and certainly after it's over, we're all going to be Zooming. And that takes us up to Jim's Gym.
Yes, indeed. Very good, Reatha. Very interesting.
Okay, baby boomers, it's time for Jim from Jim.
And Zoom, yes, indeed. You know, Reatha hits it on a nail. I'll tell you what. You know, why drive all that way? The gas, the time, the tickets, accents, whatever. You eliminate all that by jumping on a Zoom call at home. And Eric's created a situation that with the EZWAY Broadcast Network, Zoom to create your own, and how to use the Zoom and how to create your own broadcast on it. So go to letter E, letter Z, EZWayInfo.com and check that out. For my report here, I just want to see if I can bring a couple of us back. I want to see if I can bring Dave back on, and we do have some storms going on here, so Carmelita is a little hard to hear. Sometimes we don't get reception, and this is a big one out here. So Angelique Marie, owner of Halo Events, she might be popping on with us. Reatha might be on, and Dave Andrews. We're gonna touch base, talk about a little bit what's going on. You know, we all have our own opinions. Where did this start? Where did the coronavirus start? What's it, you know, like for individuals to be living in this situation that's new for everybody? They talk to experts in the economy and medical, and they're basically putting their hands up. They've never been here before. So who do we got on with us? Reatha, you still on with us?
Yes, and I'm your conspiracy theorist.
Okay,
so I will give you all the conspiracies.
Reatha does not hold back, okay? Angelique, we got Angelique Marie. Are you on with us? Angelique, did she get through? Not sure if she got through. Okay, we'll leave it open. And Dave, Eugene, Andrews. David.
Yes, I'm here.
David's on.
Can you hear me?
So, yeah, we're going to, now Reatha's got a lot of experience. You know, she's in the real estate and so on, and she's had her effects, and David has, and I've had. So we're just going to touch base on a few things that's going on. Like, for instance, this is new, and I'm just dumbfounded by what the heck is going to happen when you drive down the street in entire complexes that have various industries, you know, one shop, you know, 2-3 people in it to 50 people. They're all closed, and they're not making money. You know, there's no money coming in. And Reatha and I were talking about real estate and about, hey, the rent, sometimes the landlords are having an issue. They're a concern. Will the tenants be able to pay rent? And if they don't pay the rent, the landlords can't pay their mortgages and their utilities, and all this kind of stuff. And where did this come from? Is this there's people talking about conspiracies? Somebody created this. Well, Wuhan, China is supposed to be the origin, and what's going on. So let me throw it out there a little bit, Reatha. Now, you and I are what you call seniors. I guess we're a little bit more concerned about catching a bug. What's your situation now? You're not doing your auditions, right? I mean, how is this affecting you?
Actually, and I can't talk about it because I signed a non-disclosure thing, but actually I auditioned on Zoom. I had a call back on Zoom, and I actually shot the commercial on Friday on Zoom.
Wow.
So they're finding a way. The directors were in their home. Me and the other 3 actors were all in our own individual homes. And we had tech people that were on Zoom, and we actually shot it on Zoom, and it actually looks great. I can't talk about it until it comes out, but it was amazing. But back to the conspiracy theory.
MC Hammer had a song, Can't Touch This. I think Reatha should have a book, Dave, and she has a picture of her on the cover. Can't stop this. Can't stop this. She just keeps on going.
But I have to tell you, I believe in the conspiracy theory. I think that some scientists in the lab next to the wet market cooked up something, and it jumped on somebody, some animal, some person, and got out of the lab. And if you look at the movie Contagion, it almost kind of parallels the story of what's going on now. And that movie was made in 2011, except they say it was just an accident. And I don't believe anybody purposely let this virus out right now. I believe it was an accident, but I believe it was a designer virus that they manufactured. They spliced together some DNA or something, and I don't want the FBI coming to get me, but I do think that it just was man-made.
And remember, this is the individual opinions of Reatha, Dave, myself. We're just putting things out there. It's our own opinions, not of the broadcast network. But Dave, you have a little research now, without going too long because we don't have a lot of time. But you're an in-depth guy. You get into the inner workings of things. Reatha mentioned about her theory. What did you see out there? You shared a couple of things.
Well,
where does this come from?
Okay. One of the best places for the origin of it is called nature.com. It's a academic article, so it's kind of difficult to get through. But they have one article called "The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2," which is the virus, the Wuhan virus. My interest in China, because I know Chinese, I followed this from the very start. But it looks like it came from bats. There's a 96% correlation with the virus with a bat called the horseshoe bat. I heard that. Which is not really sold in the Wuhan markets, but I think, like Reatha said, they have some labs, 2 labs there, and they were collecting those bats and using them in those labs. So I don't think it's so much man-manufactured. I think that either jumped into the human either by a bite, by the excrement of the bat, or a tick. And the tick on the bat could either attack the human or and possibly even another animal if some of the bats were sold at that market, which I tend not to think. So I think all indications are that it came from bats, and particularly the horseshoe bat.
Okay, so the bottom line is we pretty much think it came from China, the Wuhan area, and you're saying the bats, but it got out there. But okay, Dave, what do you think? We've had this stuff for a long time. It's been going on a long time. Why is this one such a curveball for everybody and a world stopper? Is it because of it's such a rapid spreader? I mean, you're not a medical person, but what would you think?
Well, some of it was it started at Wuhan. Wuhan means 1,000 lakes, by the way. They didn't clamp it down until just before the Chinese New Year in February. But before then, they had a market, and then they advertised that they were going to clamp it down. And many moved away or like there were 3 flights from Wuhan to northern Italy per week during January. So 3 flights.
Yeah.
And there's 100,000 Chinese in northern Italy. There's in Iran where the information is kind of tight because of the clampdown by the Ayatollah's regime. They had a massive outbreak at Guam, and most of that probably came from Chinese workers from Wuhan that were working on government projects in Iran. And then I talked to one lady, San Diego student, who at Starbucks, who was actually talking to her father in Wuhan during the lockdown. So I have firsthand information. So she's talking to her father in Wuhan while I'm sitting next to her when this was first starting. And they just went by door to door, put the thermometer at the forehead, and if they had a temperature, they were taken away, out of our house, dragged away. And you can see videos of that too.
Film. Yeah, that's amazing.
But originally started with the correlation is 96% with the horseshoe bat. So that's and I did economic forecasting. If I had a correlation of over 95%, I went with it, and my models predicted better than what it was. That equation. It's not 100%. It's not perfect. Oh yeah, but I'm at a 95% confidence level, which is pretty high.
So we've got just a major shutdown, and the health part of it in New York. I didn't even want to say this on the news. It was so doom and gloom, but it's definitely causing an effect, and people are worried. They don't want to catch it, but. On the other part of what's going on, the financial side, you're going through shopping centers and industrial complexes and restaurants. I mean, everything is shut down. How does the economy handle that? Reatha, you're a landlord, and I'm dealt with real estate, and Dave's dealt with real estate, and when the door opens up again, what's going to happen? I mean. Are we talking about 29 here or 08? We're looking at a possible maybe. Interest rates have been coming down. How do you recover, Dave? You did the analytics for Chase and so on. How do you recover from a big, people getting back?
Well, first of all, you want to protect the seniors and those with pre-existing conditions, diabetes and those types of things. So. Because when someone is exposed to that's especially over 80 or even 65, or has pneumonia health issues, strong health issues, then they will overwhelm the ER and the ICU units of the hospitals. So the whole point is not to overwhelm them, but you got to ease up in certain areas, for the 20 to 40-year-olds in particular, eventually are getting back into that, into the economic things, because they don't use the ICUs and the ERs half as much as those over 60.
Yeah. And, all right, I know you don't have a crystal ball there, but people are sitting home. A lot of them aren't collecting checks. You know, and they're talking about, well, unemployment and so on. But, you know, that what does that pay? 60% of what you made. If you made $1,000 a week, you're going to make, what, half of that? I don't know what this deal is on that.
Yeah. I think in California, the maximum payout is $450 per week. But the bill allowed some extra monies through July. The $2 trillion bill that passed a week ago, and they'll allow a certain amount there. But eventually, people have to get back to work. So,
and people get back to work.
Yeah.
So
you know,
I know when you call the bank, there's like a 10 or 12 hour wait. When I called Chase one time, like 12 hours. I'm going like, yeah, I got to sit here and listen to music for 12 hours. No. So, what do you know? What do people do when the landlords can't collect the rent and then they can't pay for the buildings? And they're not going to foreclose on everybody's buildings and homes. They're going to have to put this off or something. Forbearance, a lot of forbearance, I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, there'll be forbearance there. The main thing is it can't let it go on too long. I mean, a lot of the small business people, their employees are like their family. They spend more time with their employees than they do with their own nuclear family back at the house. And so, it's hard. It's hard on business owners that connect with their employees. So, psychologically and emotionally.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully they can bounce back. They're entrepreneurs. So, but if there's any country in the world that can bounce back fast, it's the United States of America.
Yeah. I wonder how some of the countries in Europe are going to handle that. So, Reatha, are you playing it safe and basically staying home, maybe going to the market with a mask on?
I'm being a good girl. I wear my mask. It's really funny. I don't really like masks, and I can't remember why I bought a box of masks. At some point I did, and I was getting ready to go to the store. No, I was just thinking about it. And I realized, wait, I bought some masks at some point. And I opened up the cabinet underneath the sink in the bathroom, and there was a box of masks. And I used gloves anyway, so I had gloves. But the first time I went to the store, I looked on the shelf at Smart & Final, and there were 3 boxes of gloves. So I bought 2. I left 1. I had some gloves at home, so I'm fine with gloves. I only use the mask when I go out, and I don't go out often. So I'm being very good. The only thing I'm missing is toilet paper. I should have run out the first day and got toilet paper. I have some because I buy it in bulk anyway, but I don't have enough for another 2 months. I probably have enough to get me through a month. So every time I go in the store, I do look for toilet paper because when I see it, I'm going to get it. But I got some extra paper towels yesterday. I ran into some of those in the store.
You find out from a manager or somebody who works at when their next delivery is, and it could be 8 o'clock Thursday morning. And then you go there, and there's a bunch of stuff. I went to a Target one time, and I ain't
going anywhere that they're not paying me at 8 o'clock in the morning.
We'll have to make it a little bit later. Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on and hanging in there, Reatha. And Dave, thanks for coming back. Empires and Kingdoms, David Eugene Andrews brings the books back to life. And we've got, we'll be broadcasting an EZWAY Network Wall of Fame virtual summit, May 29th to the 30th. So remember, EZWAY Network. Go to the EZWayinfo.com, letter E, letter Z, and there's going to be the summit like we were talking about online, May 29th to the 30th, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Okay, so talking about what they're doing digitally during these unusual times and tough times, how to flip from brick and mortar to broadcast. And, you can connect with look at this top-tier artists, successful people like Frank Shankowitz, Sharon Lecter. We got Brian White, Christania Locum, Alex Stern, Shelley Hunt, Shea Vaughn. Shea Vaughn is Vince Vaughn's mother, and there will be a special performances. And Angelique, let's see, do we got Angelique on with us?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, we got Angelique. Hello, Angelique. Thanks for popping on with us. You're on with David. I believe you know David, and Reatha's on with us. We were talking
Reatha.
about.
Hi.
Angelique's the owner of Halo Events and our EZWAY editor-in-chief of the EZWAY magazine. And we just have a little bit of time left, Angelique, but we're talking about the situation with how you're getting by in today's world and everything. Just briefly, how's it affecting you? Are you basically becoming a stay-home person and playing it safe too?
Well, I always did work from home, so that part hasn't changed too much. But, it's scary, but I think it's important that we all maintain a positive outlook and, keep the news on 24/7. And I think just to become more grounded.
Positive.
And that's really important right now. Right now, what's hardest for me is seeing my kids kind of go cabin. They're crazy. They want to do so many things and they're not able to, and that kind of that's hard. It's hard for families. I know that we did that.
So how old are your kids, Angelique? How old are they?
I have a 17-year-old daughter. Well, she's not really a kid anymore, is she? And a 12-year-old son. And they're very active. My son, they're both involved in the performing arts, and my son is a soccer player. And it was right when it happened, he was supposed to start his next season. And so, they're just kind of going stir crazy, and you have to come up with things to entertain them that you haven't had to do in a while because they're busy with things. Yes?
This EZWAY Network Wall of Fame Virtual Summit coming up May 29th and 30th. This is really interesting stuff because that's where it's all going now. Tell us about it.
Everything is going virtual. Like Reatha was talking about the auditions. My kids audition, and they audition on Zoom. Everything's going virtual. That's how we're going to get our information. That's how we're going to learn from others. That's how we're going to be able to empower other professionals and have the influencers influence us. And we're really excited to have this virtual summit. We have some amazing, amazing people who are going to be part of it. And basically just teaching us how to go from brick and mortar or, outside to broadcast.
Yeah.
To go virtual. It's a skill that everybody now needs to know. It's essential and very powerful.
Our magazine release April 15th, right? And the 15th with Sharon, the cover. Sharon Lecter's going to be on the cover.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful cover. Wow, what a job you did. You're amazing. You really put this together.
Thank you.
And I can't help but thinking, guys, of the Morlocks. Anybody familiar with the Morlocks? We're all buckled down now and we're staying inside. Anybody remember the Morlocks?
I do. It was one of my favorite movies.
Okay, you're right. And the Time Machine, those are those good-looking guys with the bulgy eyes and kind of green puffy bodies. And what happened was he went way in the future, and there was a group of people, whatever it was, the civilization, they went underground, and their appearances changed and everything changed. And I don't know. Well, we're not going underground yet, but yeah, the EZWAY Network Wall of Fame Virtual Summit, May 29th to 30th. This is going to be exciting. And in the magazine.
We have so many amazing speakers and performers. And I just want to say, you congratulated me on doing such a great job on the magazine, but I couldn't do it without my team. We have some amazing writers and columnists, and they're dedicated and always on the line with me and working together and, you know, pushing out those articles, the content.
Always
you know,
on time. Sometimes you
and
have to
always,
push people.
always on time. You as one of my writers, thank you. One of my columnists for RBL, which is great. That'll be featured in this magazine. So congratulations to you and Reatha and Carmelita.
Congratulations to Sharon Lecter for being on the cover. That's
and
really
yes,
exciting.
definitely congratulations to Sharon Lecter, of course.
I love the colors.
We're excited.
It's really cool.
I'm sorry?
But I love the color scheme you used on the new issue.
Thank you so much.
So we got.
But of course, everything has to stay gold and black in the middle, though, too.
Oh yeah. So we have Frank Shankowitz was on the cover, and Shelley Hunt, and now Sharon Lecter. This is pretty good. And
yes, and then
really
for the summit, we have Ron and Arlene Klein, the inventor of credit card magnet strips and the MLS.
Wow.
James and Kara Scott Dentley, residual income specialist, Jeff Levine, executive producer of Beyond the Secret movie and finance expert, Bill Walsh, founder of Power Team International, Alex Stern, co-founder of Constant Contact. So we have some really amazing people joining us on the summit. So please join us.
This is going to be fun. So May 29th, guys, don't forget, May 29th. Be here before
and
you know
30th.
it. Yeah, 29th and 30th, 9 to 5, the Wall of Fame Virtual Summit, EZWAY Network Wall of Fame Virtual Summit. And thanks, guys, for popping on. The clock is ticking, and the rain is coming down, and what a day, what a time this is. But remember, everybody, keep positive. Yep, the way in which you think determines the outcome. Thank you, Reatha and David and Carmelita, all our guests. But Radio Boomers Live's got to move along. So, like I said, keep moving, keep the faith, and until next Monday morning, Reatha and I will be back 10 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Radio Boomers Live signing out.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and EZ's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the EZWAY Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.